everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 168. I am Casey. Hi. How's it going? With me this week we have Weasel.
You.
Zero.
Hey, everybody, I'm back. Echo.
Yeah. It was that important. It did an echo. Spoken.
Hey.
Back off from the mic a little bit, Spoken.
Sorry.
Yeah. Patient.
Hi, I'm not Kenji618, but I'm wishing he was here, as I'm sure some of us are.
Oh,
it's been so long since I've been on a podcast with Kenji.
Yeah, it has. You're on
Weird.
opposite days. Well, that's probably going to change a little bit in the future. We'll see how that turns out. Okay, so I know some of our regular viewers were in the Dark Souls stream that we did on Thursday, me and Slicer. And I mentioned that some things are going to be changing up in the near future, and that everything's kind of up in the air as far as scheduling goes. So we've found, since some of the change-ups with the cast and some schedule changes for each individual cast member, we are having some trouble getting things recorded. So in an effort to try and alleviate some of that, we're going to be changing the format of the podcast. So, 2-hour format of everything just being all in one show is, I suppose, it might be convenient in some aspects. It's really not in some others. Like, blocking out 2 hours where everyone can show up is really difficult. Like, really difficult. So, what we're basically going to do is, the current idea is splitting the show into 3 different shows. So, we will have the regular podcast, which will be basically the What We're Doing section of the podcast as it stands. It's going to be freeform, just talking about whatever we have to talk about that week. It'll probably be going for up to an hour, depending on how long we can keep the conversation going. And, yeah, that's basically going to be the first of the 3 shows. It's probably going to still be on Sundays. Then we have the second show, which is going to be my email client beeping at me. That's going to be the entire show, by the way. It's just my email.
Oh, yeah, that's a great show. Character development.
Yep.
No, we're going to do a random 8-style show.
Yeah, it's just going to be that. We're going to try and have the cast be fairly consistent, so the veto actually matters, because as it stands, we don't have the same cast week to week. Like, 90% of the people are different people from who was on last week, so the veto doesn't matter at all.
And since it will be a significantly shorter show, if we were to do it actually, Casey, like an hour earlier than we usually do it, I could do it any day of the week.
Yeah, we could, like, that's the nice thing about that. Because the shows are separated, we can have people be on the shows that they want to be on, and there's a lot less of a time commitment, because at most, the show that they're going to be on that day is an hour. So, it can be basically any time that everyone's free, and it's really convenient by comparison.
It's just the second hour that is always harder to work with for me. So... yeah, and I think that's the same for a lot of people, too.
Yeah. So, that's the Random A episode, show. That's what we're going to do with that. And then we're going to have a third show that is going to be the topics, basically. It's going to be 1 topic per episode, and I don't know how frequently we're going to release them. It depends on how easy it is to actually record them, because what I want to do is have the topics and then have the people that have something to say about that topic be on the episode, is ideally what I'd like to do. So
yeah, so that way there's discussion, there's no dead air with people who don't really have much to add.
Yeah, and I don't have to prompt Kenji every 30 seconds to say something.
Yeah.
That's an example.
Because there's some topics that Kenji likes to really talk about.
Yeah.
But we don't often get those.
So, that's the general outline and idea of what we're going to be doing going forward. So like I say, all the shows will continue to be weekly. They'll just be separated out. So not only is it easiest for us to record them, it's easy for like people that are only interested in certain sections of the podcast to just watch the bits that they like. Like, I can look at the traffic and see that people will only watch, let's say, 30 minutes of an episode of the podcast. Okay, they're only watching a certain section, and then they don't care about the rest. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. And this is basically a conceit to them. So if you want to watch everything, you can still watch everything. If you want to watch just the Randomade stuff and hear us talk about Randomade and what we liked, what we didn't, and see whether something's worth watching, you can just watch that. If you just want to hear about the writing stuff, you can just watch that. If you just want a casual discussion about random crap, it's still there for you. So,
yeah, and we'll probably talk about, events in our life and events in the world around us, video games or anime stuff we're watching or doing.
Yeah.
So if you want to get our impressions and stuff on things that we're doing, yeah, you can watch that.
Yeah.
You want to watch, see if you want to see how our impressions of the first episode of an anime are, it's right there. I recommend you watch all of them because chances are we will get more bad ones than good ones, so
90% of etc. is Sturgeon's law, so, Anyway.
Yeah, and if you want topics, they'll be clearly labeled for you in episodes, so you can just find them easier.
Yep. If you don't care about what we're talking about that week, you can just skip it. Easy as that. Like, this is convenient for us, and hopefully more convenient for you in the audience, so I'm hoping this works out for everybody. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be better once we can get a certain schedule going.
Yep. So, that bit of housekeeping out of the way. This is either going to be the penultimate, yes, I know I said it right again, spoken, the penultimate episode or the last episode of this particular format. It depends on how quickly we can get things sorted. There's probably going to be another one of these, and then we're going to move to the new format while we get things set up.
Yeah. This way we can get more consistent content for you guys, so you're not just left with a Dark Souls stream in place of a podcast.
Yeah, that was regrettable. I mean, I had fun doing it, but that's...
I had fun popping in for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's fun to do, but it's not really why I started the channel, and it's not why I do like doing the podcast when it goes well. When it goes poorly, I want to rip my own throat out on occasion. So,
Well, I would, as much as I would like to see that, I don't think we need to have that happen yet. So, let's move on to what we're doing.
Hey. Not cool. So, let's move on to the thing that we're supposed to be doing, which is what we're doing. So, what we've been doing... my intro's a better motherfucker. Weasel.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, my girlfriend and I, Logan, and her mom, we just saw the Beauty and the Beast live action remake last night.
Oh,
okay.
How was it?
That's the one with Emma Watson, right?
Yes.
Sweet.
And it was awesome.
Sweet.
Good.
Surprisingly progressive. Really shows that Disney's changing with the times.
Oh, yeah, there was that huge controversy from a bunch of conservative jackasses about how there's an openly gay character. Oh, noes.
Hey, as long as I get my guest on, that's all I need.
The openly gay character has a crush on Gaston. It's his best friend.
Of course.
Okay.
Like, why wouldn't
that's literally I'm pretty sure that's canon, so it's fine.
They don't actually outright state it, which means it'll fly over the head of any kid, but to the adults, it's freaking obvious.
It was obvious in the original cartoon.
Seriously.
Also, surprise, surprise, at the end, it turns out the entire time, two of the, furniture friends were black. And also, there's not one, but two interracial couples.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Quite progressive.
I mean, I guess that's great. I just really care about the storytelling more than anything else, but okay.
Oh, yes, speaking of the storytelling, they changed and added just enough to keep it fresh for the longtime viewers of the animated version, and yet kept just enough the same that they wouldn't be pissed off about changes.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they kept the incredibly creepy Stockholm Syndrome overtones.
Yeah. That's the best part, right?
None that I noticed. Oh, and also Belle's dad, less of a pushover in this version. He's got some sass to it. He's got some sass to him.
Sass is good. I was thinking, oh man, is he gonna like fight off the wolves now?
No, but he does escape the wolves thanks to his horse.
Horses do all the work.
At one point, he's just like dangling from a root on a ridge. And he's like,
"Okay, don't say too much.
Everything.
Don't spoil it."
Okay.
Yeah. Limit yourself, please.
I just wanted to say, good horse, best friend.
Okay. What else? What did you do?
RPs and Guy Online are going okay. Getting some new people from my Fallout RP. I've been playing some... What was that game called? Not important. I've been playing some games, role-playing on Guy Online, dealing with some serious sleeping problems.
Cool.
And finally finishing the Spites.
Oh, yes, I finished the Spites.
Yeah.
Caught up with it.
Well, caught up with it, yeah.
Until the new chapter came out, at which point you needed to spend most of the day catching up again.
Yes.
Yeah. I still need to read that. I'm like 150 words in. So.
One
You
day I'll
really
catch
need
up.
to read it. The first few chapters are in light of the later tone.
Spoken.
They're a little bit more subdued.
Spoken.
Yes.
He hasn't read the most recent chapter. He's been keeping up with the Spites.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought I needed to read that.
Yeah.
He was talking about
I haven't read the newest chapter yet. Yeah.
Oh.
I thought he was talking about the fanfic itself, too.
Hey, I stopped reading in the Alabasta. I need to get back in.
You suck, Zero!
Thank you.
Isn't it nice that you can say that now, Weasel, now that you have finally caught up?
I mean, it only took you, 3 months?
I'm a slow reader!
And Lucan still hasn't caught up, which Weasel takes great pride in lording over her, and she completely ignores.
Okay, in all fairness, Alex actually reads about twice as fast as Weasel. It's just that she's been busy with a lot of stuff.
Mostly you're a psychopath of a mother.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
So you did nothing else then, Cyber Weasel? 89?
That wasn't awkward at all, Zero.
No, it was awkward. It was awkward, and I love it. So let's keep moving on.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
Him awkwardly speaking your entire name.
Cyber Weasel 89. All right. So I guess Weasel has nothing else to add. So
Yep, that's it.
Casey, you decide who's next.
Thank
Oh God,
you.
Emperor.
Thank you for... Yeah, I can't even be bothered. Spoken.
Alright, well, my computer died last week. Yeah.
Did you hold a funeral for it?
No, I got it repaired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a normal person thing, I guess.
On the downside, it wasn't a software problem like I thought it was initially. It turned out to be a hardware problem. On the upside, it wasn't the CPU, which was what the gentleman at the local repair shop said it might be when I turned it in and described the symptoms. Turns out the hard drive that I got with my current tower back in 2012 has, since I purchased it, become very widely known for having problems with stability and breaking down over time. So my hard drive over the last year or so has been more or less very slowly melting.
Delicious.
So I ended up having to drop $150 for a new hard drive. a $50 consult fee for figuring this out, and $99 and change for a new OS, because I put this off so long that the OS itself had degraded beyond repair.
You see, this is why I didn't pay to repair my laptop when it got broken in half. I just use it. Hook it up to my TV.
Well,
I can't repair. My last laptop, I had to repair twice because it broke in like 2 different ways. And then I was just like, after the last time, I was like, you know what? Fine. It's broken in half. I'll deal with it.
my thing was I had the option with my computer of either getting this one repaired, which ended up costing me $300,
Oof.
or going and buying the parts for a new one, or just buying a new one stock outright, which either one of those options to get comparable to what I have right now would have been $1,000 or more.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So I sprung for the repair option because it actually ended up getting me an upgrade.
Oh, nice.
My hard drive was 4 years old, or 5 years old at this point, I suppose. And when I got it replaced, the guy gave me a different model that's slightly better in terms of what it can handle, and also doesn't have the degradation problems that the last one had.
Good.
For $150?
Okay, to be fair, it's not a good hard drive, it's just better than what I had before.
No, I'm saying $150, it better be better than the one you had before.
Eh.
I mean, you can get an SSD for about $200, so...
With laptops, $150 is like nothing.
Okay, yeah, I got a $200 laptop. I call it my potato because that's about what it's got the processing power of.
Oh, it's a laptop one. That makes more sense. Sorry.
No. This is a desktop.
Oh, in that case,
The
I'm entirely
laptop is
justified
like
in being weirded out by the price then.
Yeah. What else? I spent most of the week since then. That happened last Thursday, and it was in the shops until Sunday. I've spent the last 6 days getting about a terabyte of programs re-downloaded, combing through the depths of the Wayback Machine to try and find some of the stuff that I haven't had cause to look at since 2009.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, sounds like a barrel full of laughs.
I spent some of the time waiting for stuff to download, playing through Assassin's Creed 4 again, which, to steal a line from a video game reviewer I quite enjoy, was a lot of fun when it was being Crazy Eddie's Pirate Adventures, and not so much when I was having to get down to the actual assassinating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I've heard on the periphery of things, leaving the politics entirely aside, which I do keep up with in my free time but don't mention on here because that's not really the usual topic of the podcast. I have heard peripherally that apparently Mass Effect Andromeda is a steaming pile of shit.
Oh, it's not.
Oh my.
It's okay. Like,
All right, if we're gonna do Mass Effect Andromeda, let's just do
okay.
Mass Effect Andromeda because
I'm just gonna link this tweet. This is just one particular thing. A conversation starts up, and the character they're talking to goes into T-pose.
T-pose?
You know, the basic set default pose for any model.
yeah, arms out to the sides and just sort of standing.
Oh, God, why?
Cross pose.
So,
God, that's bad.
there's one particular scene where a character pulls out their gun and shoots a robot. There's no hit spark on the robot, and they're holding their gun backwards.
So it's buggy? That's the only complaint?
And you have to hand animate and model that. Right? That's their own gun. They made that gun, and they had it backwards.
This isn't bugs. This is...
Bugs is like, there's a problem with it. This is like, if it's a cutscene style thing, and then they have it not work, that means that they either A, try to use some sort of algorithm to try to just animate things on mass scale and it screwed up, which is
that's probably
likely
it, because
because
a lot of this stuff is motion capture. They do motion capture for this stuff. So
I also think in Mass Effect 3 particularly, there's a lot of cutscenes where they automatically insert whatever gun the character has equipped in a certain slot. They might have reused that and the coding screwed up for the gun rather than the model.
There's a lot of reasons it could happen. So
that said, they shouldn't be trying to pass that off as full gameplay footage.
look at this particular walking animation.
Oh dear,
Dude, what the fuck is that walking animation?
Oh, let's see.
When she's walking away, there's just like it's so awkward. A lot of the stuff in this game, and it's just like the facial animations are.
Looks like she has a stick up her ass.
Question: Is there sound on these?
I don't.
They're
Not
gifts.
the second one, but there is on the first one.
Okay. Because I
they're
need to know
gifts,
whether I
and
can watch these safely.
They're automatically muted, so you should be able to watch them safely. Just the faces are ridiculous, and
It's a weird. That's like a model strut, is what that is for some reason. Like sort of straight back, arms behind, and sort of just wiggling.
There's only one thing to do: strut.
Honestly, the worst part about that is the shoulders. That's not how shoulders move.
Let's all just shit on Mass Effect Andromeda.
like Mass Effect is a series that really burned me, especially with Mass Effect 3. So I'm just taking Schadenfreude in the burning shell of what used to be a franchise I liked.
There.
To be fair, most of 3 was actually pretty good.
Yeah, but the way a lot of the choices just became a single line of dialogue different really got to me and hit me the hardest there. Especially like, remember Mass Effect 1 where it's like, hey, I'm going to save this awesome race of alien bugs who will remember me. And then that contributed nothing.
Yeah, but then there's also, does Morden die? Or do you save him? Do you fuck over the entire Krogan race? Do you not? And there's like a spectrum of how things can play out between all that stuff. That was interesting. Quarians likewise. But
like,
that was it.
There's a lot of stuff in that game I just didn't enjoy. And just seeing, like, the thing with Mass Effect Andromeda is most of the team left after Mass Effect 3. Most of the people from the original Mass Effect games. And I think it was the person who wrote Mass Effect 3 or something is now in charge of doing this next one.
Oh, fun!
I wonder what Drew Coption's doing right now. He wrote the first game.
There's just a lot of.
So the guy who thought that the Catalyst was a great idea is in charge of Andromeda.
That's what it seems to be. Yeah.
Fuck me running.
Later.
And I wasn't going to give it much of a chance now, but I'm not even going to give it a start.
And I've seen.
So he's working on the Old Republic. That's, fair enough. It's a good game.
Nice.
The facial animations in this game just kind of look probably the most stilted in the entire series, and I can't like this game.
I can't honestly give anyone a chance who took a look at what they had planned, the writing team, for the reason the Reapers are doing what they do, and thought, no, Star Child's a better idea.
Apparently in this game you're some sort of like Pathfinder or something, and you're supposed to find like a golden planet for humanity or whatever, all the races to live on.
It's basically a last-ditch effort colony kind of thing.
So you're the chosen one, and apparently they don't even explain it in the game, and you have to look in the codex for it.
You're not
the chosen one.
Your dad is the chosen one, and something happens to him.
Okay.
Chosen one.
It's not a Destiny thing.
It's not a Destiny thing. It's literally
I know.
I him for the job. But
yeah, I know, but it's like I just have this very strong aversion, considering all the things that I've seen, that I don't think this will be good.
Okay, wait, back up for a second. Casey, did you seriously just say a little bit ago that the Old Republic, Star Wars, the Old Republic, is a good game.
I did. I played it for like, I don't know, 6 months. I've still got a
Do you want me to rant? Do you
Go
want
ahead.
me to rant?
Yes,
we're gonna have
Feel
we're
free.
gonna have a difference of opinions here.
Yes,
This
please.
is
Let's
some
do
of the
this.
great fun of the podcast. Okay, hit me.
I played the Old Republic. It was nothing but an EA meddling money grab where you can never actually do anything useful because you can't fuck it up for other players. The whole point of a BioWare game is that you cause a lot of changes to the world, and the choices you make matter. In the Old Republic, your choices don't matter because if you stop the war, no other player could participate in that war. The only thing you can never actually affect things as a whole. You only affect small scale things that don't matter at all, and everything is a fucking money grab.
Oh,
Yes.
calm yourself.
You don't affect the world as a whole. You affect the characters in your story.
Also, I'm just going to point out, they could have made it so that you can affect the world as a whole. Path of Exile. Really quite a nice MMO.
Thank you, Tater.
Well.
Not really. Unfortunately, because it's the Old Republic and it's set 5,000 years before. 5,000, whatever. It doesn't really matter. There is a canon there. There is a set outcome to events. Like, it is set who wins the war that is going on at the time. So you can't really change all that much, unfortunately. It's the downside of
that's the
working prequels.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the thing with prequels is you can't make it as free as you could with, say, something that doesn't have a predetermined end.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, none of it's canon anymore. The expanded universe doesn't count anymore. But look
Fuck
at what
that.
happened the last time someone said the expanded universe doesn't matter. I mean, they get in enough shit as it is already. They don't need that on top of it.
Anyways,
The
Mass
only
Effect.
real saving grace that I will give Star Wars: The Old Republic is that I blame the money grubbing on EA, not BioWare.
Money grabbing isn't that bad anymore. When did you play it?
Let's see, probably about a few months, probably so over 6 months ago.
Really? You played it not long after I did. I don't
Isn't
know where
it-
you're seeing the money grabbing.
Yeah,
from.
isn't it free now?
It
to
is
play it?
entirely free. You can play it completely for
Yeah.
free. There is a subscription
I
that you can choose.
I
to go
first
through, which
played
did.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I first played it for the first couple of months on subscription.
I had to go free. It is
So
hell.
I think Weasel's not complaining so much about the subscription as he is about the predictable pay-to-win structure.
You don't really
Yeah.
pay to win.
No, you can. It's free to play, but not free to win.
No, you can still entirely play through the entire game for free. You don't need any of that extra stuff. It just makes things a little bit faster.
yeah, I'm just glad they added the free option because when it was first out, they didn't even have that.
No, it was entirely paid structure. It was World of Warcraft structure, and they got rid of that because it didn't work. And this one's working out a lot better for them, and I think the game's better for
I
them.
dropped off after the first 2 months because it was
And it's-
paid, and I was like, I don't want to even pay this much for it.
And there's very little you can actually do without paying. You don't even have access to
Okay.
storage space unless you pay.
I think you get one bay of the storage space.
No, your
For
ship
entire-
bay. No, that's you have to pay to get that.
Oh well.
It's not like you need to keep a lot of stuff anyway, but yeah, okay.
Anyway,
Weasel's a bit of a hoarder in video games.
A what?
A hoarder.
order.
Oh, yes, I am.
So yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda. we got on the Mass Effect rant, which turned into a Old Republic rant.
It wasn't me!
did-
It wasn't me!
yeah. Did you do anything else, Spoken?
Not really, though I am going to be spending the next couple of days intermittently bugging Weasel to get back onto the Few the Proud since he's finally caught up with his fights.
Cool.
Yo.
Speaking of, Weasel, you should get back
Fuck
on
off!
He's off
There's
the
a
mic
machine
a little
gun in the background.
bit. Yep, he's off the mic a little bit. So nothing else spoken?
No, not really.
Okay.
Mama.
Patient.
Well, it's been spring break for me for the past week or so. Tomorrow I head back to college, but I'm enjoying the time that I have to spend with my family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's been a nice several days. Nice to see my mother and father again. Just casually enjoying the time we have together. Games and such. Aside from that, I believe I mentioned on the last podcast that I bought One Piece Unlimited Cruise from an overseas, from someone who had them overseas.
Mm-hmm.
But upon receiving the games, I discovered that they can't be played on an American Wii.
Oh, region look.
Talking of money grubbing.
Region locking is no longer a thing, though.
Region locking isn't a thing for most video games developers.
Nintendo just ended it with the
special
Switch.
Snowflake.
The Switch just ended region lock.
Oh, did
There's
they?
no region lock on the Nintendo Switch.
Good for them, I guess. Took them long enough.
Yeah, so it's no longer a thing, actually.
So they're no longer a money grubbing fuck in that particular way.
Just in most
every,
of the ways.
Every video game company is money grubbing. That's just how they work. They're businesses.
Yeah.
I want to play Breath
Glad
of the
we're not monetizing the
Wild,
channel,
but I
Zero.
can't because I don't have a Switch.
Anyway, patient. you
If
said.
I may continue. I was saying that I do know someone. I met someone shortly before I left for spring break, left the college for spring break, who can help me unlock the region for my Wii U with something called the Homebrew Channel or something like that. Apparently, I've got everything that I need to take care of it, so I'm going to see about taking care of that once I head back to college. For
It probably requires disconnecting it from the internet, but what a big loss, right, for Nintendo?
In any case, aside from that, well, obviously this Bytes released its most recent chapter. We decided to cut down on it because if we had gone as far as we intended to originally, it might not have even come out this month with how hard inspiration has been to come by. It's just been struggling to write out these most recent parts, especially since it's mainly fight scenes, and Hornet is our specialist for those.
I can understand that. I mean, the Thriller Bark section of the story is kind of boring, except for the beats that you've already hit and the one that comes right at the end. This is kind of a little bit that no one particularly cares about.
And to be fair, the bit that comes right at the end is going to be substantially different because the big fight leading up to it just isn't going to happen.
Yep.
Well, let's just say that... Do you remember the cliffhanger that we had back in Chapter 43?
You're going to have to
Vaguely.
specify story sections because...
It was the first of the two 50k chapters following Annie's Lobby.
Okay, I'm going to assume that's the stuff with the blue one. Admiral, I forget what his name is. Goddamn.
RPG.
Aokiji, yeah. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're correct,
Cool.
yes.
Okay.
Well, let's just say our next chapter's cliffhanger is going to be even crueler than that.
Oh, you
And
son of a bitch.
don't talk about my mother that way.
I'm not.
That's always been a weird insult to me, gotta say. Like, you're not insulting them, you're insulting their family. That's kind of even more insulting, but why? You don't even know them, that's just mean.
It's an offshoot of an old American, kind of American, custom of calling someone a dog as an insult.
But dogs are man's best friend.
Yeah, also, dog is kind of half compliment, half insult at this point. It's like, oh, you dog.
Dog.
Anyway, aside from that, I've also... I should say that the next bit of This Bites that we publish probably isn't going to be the chapter with the most sadistic cliffhanger yet. Zom and Hornet have had an idea in mind for a creative omake based on one of the filler arcs that we didn't hit, and, well, they're planning on putting that together. So that'll probably be the next thing we publish. When it'll happen, I don't know, but we've pretty much planned it out at this point. So it shouldn't... hopefully it won't be too long. Inspiration for this should be a lot easier to mine than for Thriller Bark.
Nice.
And aside from that, I've also made contact with a couple of our fans who have some of our better omake writers, Ex Nativo and The Real Evan SG, both of whom have self-insert fics of their own, where they've been apparently planning something nasty for a little while, a nasty little surprise for the Space Battlers, and now I'm on board with it.
Well, to be fair,
seeing this.
Well, to be fair, Space Battles are kind of dicks.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, so aside from that, been struggling more with trying to complete everything on Pikmin 3 for the Wii U. I'm a big fan of the Pikmin games, but
I enjoy them.
Pikmin 4 is apparently already almost finished. They said in 2015.
It was almost finished years ago.
And now they're probably just moving over to the Switch or something.
I'll be right back. I gotta let the dog out.
Yep.
Now, what was I going to say? Yes. Mission mode. I'm one of those sorts that, A, is not satisfied with anything less than 100%, and B, will never let a single Pikmin die. So,
well, I feel sorry for your loss of time.
For the patient has too much empathy, apparently.
Well,
I throw my Pikmin at the enemy, and if they die, well, then they died honorably and go to Valhalla. That's how I look at it.
Could they go to Sovngarde?
Yeah.
So it's a Skyrim reference.
So you've been trying to go through it with 100% and not letting any Pikmin die.
Well, the struggle has been in two different parts. One has been the main story mode. I've beaten the main story mode 100% 2 or 3 times by now, but I'm trying to do it about as fast as possible, so a speed run essentially.
See, I don't actually want to play Pikmin 3 because they don't have the wider purple Pikmin except in mini games.
Well, they added 2 different types of Pikmin besides that.
I know, but the white and purple.
Yeah, I know. I really liked them too, and I have to wonder what they're planning on for Pikmin 4.
Yeah, me too.
Probably get rid of everything except the red, yellow, blue, and add 2 new ones.
I'm wondering what happened to that. I'm wondering what happened to that 3DS Pikmin game that was supposed to come out.
Nintendo happened.
Those?
Like, I don't know. There's lots of stuff concerning the Pikmin friend. Oh, Weasel, that was really high pitched.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what they've been doing with Pikmin, but I don't know, maybe something will come out. They're so quiet about their franchises, it's annoying.
Alright, so...
God, man, one of the...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I suppose there's one more thing. I've Nah, I'll just leave that aside. All right, so that's my week. Who remains now?
Me and Casey remain, and I'll go first and save the best for last.
Suck
wink,
up.
wink, nudge, nudge.
Don't try and suck up while you're still trying to steal my thing.
Yeah, that's the joke. So my birthday was on March 2nd. Which,
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy belated birthday.
So we were recording on that Saturday, and I emailed Casey I emailed everyone basically at like 3 a.m. and said, yeah, I'm not going to be on the podcast because I was up playing Zelda all night on my new Nintendo Switch.
How is it?
It's good. It's really good. It's probably one of the best games I've ever played. So
Seriously.
You have really low standards.
you're talking about a game you haven't played, Casey.
Zelda.
I'm fine with Zelda. It's just that fucking stupid weapon system really pisses me off.
The durability's like not a problem at all. I don't get why people are really talking about it so much. Well, actually, most people seem to be okay with it. I think Jim Sterling did a video in which he had weapons that weren't even at full durability and was trying to show off how easily they broke.
Yeah, they still break in like 5 hits anyway.
No, they don't. No, they don't at all. Actually, I've been
Yes,
playing the
they
game
do.
for
I
over.
watched
I've been playing the game with over 100 hours, dude.
Yeah,
I
I've been
think I know
watching
what I'm
people
talking
play
about.
it, and I see fucking weapons break in like 5 hits, and it's really pointless.
Not
and annoying.
5.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
first of all-
8. Does that make it feel better? 8.
Oh gosh, you're really like. Okay, so here's the thing. This game is not a hack and slash. First of all, okay. It is also a physics sandbox. So what the first thing it does is durability is really crap in the beginning, so that you can you're encouraged to approach different methods of combat. So you're not just running in and trying to hit everything all the time and trying to be more creative, because there's like hundreds of ways to approach a battle. And if you are doing that and you're using weapons dumb, you will run out of durability a lot faster. I've seen, like, my brother ran out of weapons pretty early on because he kept hitting rocks to get minerals from them when you can just bomb them and save durability on that way. There's lots of alternative approaches to save durability, and that's kind of the one thing you have to do in the game. And it's more strategic rather than, like, it's really not that big of a problem at all. I've never run out of weapons in over 100 hours of gameplay.
That actually
So
sounds
basically,
annoying
what
to
it
me.
does is it turns the Zelda franchise, traditionally something close to a hack and slash, into something that's not a hack and slash.
It's not. Zelda's traditionally not.
The
Even in Zelda, you've had different weapons to approach combat. You've had your bow, you have your hook shot, you've had bombs. There's always been different ways to approach combat, and it's being encouraged in different ways because there's the new runes and ways to approach combat.
Yeah, but the system you just explained to save durability just sounds annoying to me.
It's fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any problems with it.
And Zelda hasn't always been strictly a hack and slash. If you just run in willy-nilly in Skyward Sword, you will get your ass handed to you.
And that's kind of the thing in this game too. You have to be
all well and
prepared.
good that you enjoy it, Zero, but that doesn't mean everyone else will not find it really, really annoying.
Most people have found it to be good. There's only a minority that tends to find it annoying, and then after they get further into the game, they're like, okay, no, I get it, it's fine.
But what I really liked about Skyward Sword was that you couldn't just run in and just swing your sword around like a dick.
And it's
You
not,
had to-
and Casey, it's not like Dark Souls where every weapon has a unique move set. Okay, it's really the combat with the weapons. They tend to all have the same move set for their weapon type.
in Skyward Sword, you had to be careful how you cut enemies because they would block it in certain ways if you didn't cut in the right way, and you also had to actively block.
Yeah, and you have to, and
made for
depending
much
on
more
the
strategic combat.
yeah, and depending on which type of enemy you're facing, you have to approach it with a different weapon. And there's multiple ways to solve every combat encounter, and there's more efficient ways, and it's about finding that more so.
Plus cooking.
Yeah, the cooking is really good in the game. It's simple, it's quick, and if you use it and prepare for things, combat can end pretty quickly without any weapons breaking. I've gone against the strongest enemy in the game, Casey, and I've only broken one weapon
Okay,
against that
Zero,
enemy, and I replace it with
we're going to
his.
stop talking about this, because otherwise
Yes,
it's going to
John.
turn into a real argument. And it's partially
Oh.
because I'm going to end up equating you with the people that can't hear anything bad about any Nintendo game.
Well, no, dude, I was going to talk
about his website because
okay.
he gave it a bad review. I don't want to talk about this anymore because it's going to turn into a real argument.
Let me. First of all, I talked about it, and then you immediately started swinging at me with the durability thing. So don't even just. Okay, can I just talk about the game?
Feel free. I'm going to take my headphones off. Just tell me in the chat when.
Casey, come on.
I am going to get mad.
I'm going to talk about the flaws too.
He was right about the
flaws. I was going to approach it like as normally as can, but you can't even give me the chance because you haven't even played the game and you're making judgments about it. So it's upsetting.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the game is fun, but there are some things that I guess I'll talk about the flaws now because Casey wants to hear about those. The thing is with the flaws is that the voice acting, first of all, is
Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not great.
There's voice acting?
There's voice acting in it, and there's moments where it's good, but it's mostly pretty stilted and not great at all. And I've heard it's the same in every language, which is impressive, actually.
Impressive
the dungeons,
stilted dialogue in every language?
Yeah, it's actually kind of hard to get that.
Yeah.
There's usually at least one or two languages in the entire selection where they could be arsed to put in an ounce of effort, but for everyone to be exactly as mediocre.
Like there's some voice actors which are really good and they have good moments, but majority is not great.
That's actually kind of disappointing because I had high hopes for the voice acting because let me finish my sentence because this was going to be a plus. Elizabeth Maxwell is on the cast for that, who voiced Winter and Ruby.
Who did she voice?
I'll have to look it up. So bear with me.
Because Zelda is solid most of the time.
It is one of Nintendo's better franchises. Yeah.
No, I mean the voice actor for Zelda. She's solid most of the time.
Okay.
There's just other characters that aren't so great.
She voiced Urbosa and Riju. I don't know who those are. Obviously.
Urbosa and Riju are. Yeah, I know who those characters are. They're okay. They're not particularly really bad or anything. They're okay. Again, it falls into being stilted. Like, there's not pauses where there should be, I feel like. This game has a lot of the shrines, and, well, a lot of the shrines are unique. Like, there's 120 shrines in this game, and they're all, like, mini dungeons where they have, like, a few puzzles. Some of the shrines are really amazing and, like, long and complex. Some are unique, some you have to do in the overworld, and some are just kind of samey. And I feel like that's the problem you're going to have when you have 120 shrines. There is the benefit of you can solve most of these shrines in multiple ways, and it's a lot of fun. But I did all the shrines in the game, and some aren't so great, and just kind of aren't fun at all. The dungeons in the game, there's 4 main dungeons, and they're probably my least memorable dungeons in a Zelda franchise. They have really cool, like, there's a really cool concept associated with them, but they're really short. They tend to be pretty much on the shorter side. And I guess that's made up for with the dungeons, but when you think about dungeons from Zelda games, it's because they have that theme around an item, but because you don't have that in these, it's more focused around, using runes in interesting ways, and it kind of loses the theming, and the bosses of those, just design-wise, are bad, but, like, they're fun to fight against, I guess. Some people like them because, hey, you don't just have to figure out how to beat this enemy with one item that you got in the dungeon. And I can see that, but they're, again, probably the least memorable bosses in any Zelda game. But the overworld bosses are a lot of fun, and they make up for that. I wish there was a little bit more enemy variety, but enemies in Zelda games tend to just have one weakness. And so for the sake of making it, like, really open, they tried to focus on enemies that you could take down in multiple ways. The game is hard, but it's really not that hard if you prepare for things properly. And you have items, like, cooked ahead of time and whatnot.
Oh, so you can cook and carry the food with you?
Yeah, you cook and then you have a stock of food, and that you can get temporary hearts for more health or defense or attack buffs.
Oh, cool.
So, and armor. There's an armor system, and armors have set bonuses. And when you upgrade it to rank 2, it will get a set bonus. Otherwise, it might already have a set bonus and gain another set bonus. And these set bonuses are usually pretty powerful in terms of what they do. Like, say, minor spoiler, but the climber set allows you to just jump up things really, like, to climb really, really fast and use almost no stamina when it gets its set bonus.
Hey, Zero, quick question.
Yeah.
If a weapon loses durability, can you repair it?
No, but you can throw it for 4 times damage.
Oh.
The Master Sword is in this game, and it's a pretty good sword when it's not buffed. It's buffed against certain types of enemies, and it also recharges. So what you do is, since you hardly ever fight those types of enemies, is when you're fighting against, when you go up into a camp of just a bunch of scrubs, you just use the Master Sword on them, and it can last a few battles and it will recharge, and that takes only 10 minutes. And that game is hundreds of hours long, so it's really no time at all. Really, it's the world in this game is really the best part of it. It has a really fantastically designed overworld in which anywhere you look, there's always something to do, and it doesn't do that thing I don't like in other open world games where you climb up to the tower and it does fill out your map, but it fills it out more topographically rather than put 100 icons on your map and tells you to go there. You put the icons on your map, except for like it will put on like fast travel points and towns and whatnot, but it won't put on every single point of interest. It's up to you to really discover it. In that regard, it's just really, really good. And that's my brief talk about Zelda.
Brief.
Yeah. There's a lot to this game. I just wanted to discuss it. I'm sorry if I bored any of you to tears.
No, it's fine. I was interested.
I don't know if Casey actually took his headphones off or not.
I think he...
Hi.
Oh, there he is.
So yeah, I've been enjoying the Zelda and Nintendo Switch, but I stopped playing that after I beat it so I could pick up Nier Automata. And that game is fun. I'm 7 hours in, and I am enjoying it a lot.
How many times have you died?
Twice. I've died twice in that game.
Ooh,
Nier Automata.
Did the enemies ever reprogram your body?
You have to retrieve your body kind of in a Dark Souls way in Nier Automata.
Yeah, I'm assuming if you don't do that, then they do what Weasel said. I've never heard of that before.
I heard it in a video that came out before the game released. They mentioned one of the things that could be possible if you when you die, your data is just re-uploaded to another body. But one of the things that can apparently happen is when you go to retrieve your body, it's possible the enemy's reprogrammed it and you have to fight it.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
at least that's what I heard.
It does say if you take too long to retrieve your body, or you die before retrieving it, then you won't be able to retrieve it anymore. It didn't specify beyond that, and I've never let it happen, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. How you liking the game, Casey?
You remember when I was super hyped for Nier Automata?
Do you wish there was fast travel too?
As far as I'm aware, there is fast travel, but it takes a while to unlock or something.
Wish there was. So
big
long.
Problem with the game
Yeah.
is, you remember in Nier, the first Nier?
Yeah.
And the first thing that happens is you're a dad trying to protect his little girl.
Yeah.
And it immediately gets you to latch onto the characters and you get the struggle and what's going on.
Yeah.
Where's that in this game?
No, it's in the first. It's in the first part when she cares about that one dude. That's your moment.
Well, yeah, but it's a little bit undercut by the whole first thing that happens in the game, which is your entire team gets shot down and she doesn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she cares about this one dude, and they die together, and it's kind of touching, and then they're back because they got uploaded to the cloud or whatever, and then all of that, character development and relationship drama and stuff is out of the window, and
in a weird way, I'm liking her more the more I play. Is kind of what I think they're going for, rather than the immediate emotional attachment of gotta protect my daughter.
Yeah, it's really hard to attach to characters when they are literally robots.
Yeah,
like the entire cast are literally robots, and it's really hard to get.
Yeah, and you can't have a remote right away because then that's way too far outside the norm.
Except they do have 9S emote right away. And
but 9S is a server
as well.
Yeah, she's a server. Yeah, but like the whole thing is like 2B is a combat robot, and so she's supposed to be like that, I guess. Whereas the 9S and the support units are supposed to be more cheery, is what I'm kind of picking up from what I'm playing.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'll probably it'll probably make a lot more sense the further in I get.
I'm hoping so. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that are a little bit jankier than I was expecting them to be with Platinum doing it. I mean, the combat is fine for the most part. The top-down shit really pisses me off because I can't see what's going on. Because it's literally grey robots on grey backdrop most of the time. But when it's just like character action style, like it's basically Bayonetta, which is fine. I can get down with that. Like, a lot of the map stuff is really weird. Like, it's actually harder to see the map once you've unlocked parts of it. Which, there's some really odd design decisions, which I guess is kind of in character for this developer and designer. But, I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. The original Nier grew on me, so it probably will.
Yeah. And the combat's fun enough for me to keep playing. I really like combat.
There's 26 different endings, apparently, which makes me really paranoid for everything I'm doing.
I got 2 endings already.
7 hours in?
Yeah. If you die in the very beginning, you get an ending. It speeds past the credits and everything. It's like, oh well, the game ended. Alternatively, there's a point where it's like, hey, we need to go here. If you go the other way, it's like, well, they abandoned the fight. Speeds past the credits, another ending.
So
it's more like if you do something that's like, wait, if you do that, the world will end. Ending.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay. I mean, like my understanding is there are 4 actual endings, and a lot of different variations between them.
It's 26 endings, but most of the endings are bad endings.
Kind of like how in Fallout 4, there's really only 2 endings.
Pretty much. Yeah, like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the desert mission... there's the thing when there's lots of things that you can attack, and I didn't,
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure whether that would affect it, and then there's the thing where there's one thing that's odd.
Yeah.
And you can choose to attack that, and I did, and I felt kind of bad about it afterwards. I don't know whether that affects anything or not, and I'm really paranoid about it.
I did the exact same thing, but with the part where there's lots of things you can attack, if you just walk up to them, they will attack you. Is what I experienced. So I was like, okay, well, that's not a choice. But the other guy, I was like, the one thing that shows up, I was like, yeah, I'm going to attack that because this would fit in with the character that I'm playing.
Pretty much.
So
I am so confused.
Yeah, we're trying not to spoil anything. This is going to be probably a really good game. But
it's setting up for a lot, and I'm hoping that it all pays off because I know that Nier it paid off in that.
Oh god, it paid off like 6 times over.
Yeah, so I'm willing to keep playing and see where it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
I do have a little quote from Yoko Taro. I saw this interview with Yoko Taro, the creator of it. of Nier, and there was a question of, has your view on game development matured over the years as you've gotten older? And his response was, when I was young, I had one wish from the bottom of my heart. I wish all the useless and controlling elders of the gaming industry would die so I can create a game that I like. Now that I have fulfilled my dream to create a game that I like, there's not much left for me to do. However, because I don't have much else to do now, I am clinging on to my job as a game director. In a way, I'm just living out a habit now. And now I have become the troublesome elder that I hated when I was young. Like a demon king in an RPG, I feel like I'm clinging to my castle of authority all alone and waiting for a new hero to come slay me.
Holy shit, what?
He is the best developer.
Yeah, pretty much. Holy shit.
I am waiting for the new hero to come slay me.
That's
Yeah,
the
Nier's
best
good.
way of trying to inspire the next generation that I have ever heard. Holy shit.
Last two things I did. This is still my week. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I haven't been on in so long. So I saw Logan. Day after my birthday, I went in and I saw Logan. Logan as in the new Wolverine, the final Wolverine movie. And it's good. I don't want to say more. It's good. That's it. Go watch it.
Weasel, do you want to mute your mic if you can't cool your tits a little bit?
Sorry.
Logan is good. Go see it. It's good.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
I also saw the new King Kong movie. It's a good monster movie, I guess. The action's
Yeah,
nice.
giant monkey penis.
The action's nice. The humans are, some are good, some are bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good monster movie is kind of like saying, that's a nice box of tissues kind of thing. It's
Well, they
very
make some
faint praise.
Well, they make some highly decorative tissue boxes and covers.
I like some of the characters, but you don't watch this for the human characters. You watch it for King Kong. And he's done well, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's it for my 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
Was it? Yeah.
We're over an hour now and we haven't even finished. And I'm not going to help that. So
That's what he said.
Okay. Yeah, that is what he said. Now keep going.
yeah. Anyway. So I started playing XCOM 2 again. They released the Long War mod for this game, which is weird, but kind of great. Like, if you haven't played XCOM 2 or 1, whatever, before, it's a strategy game. Aliens are invading. You send teams out on missions to kill aliens or recover important people and stuff like that. It's a strategy game. But for the Long War mod for this game, what they've changed is you will find missions and then you will have to send a team to infiltrate the area before the mission starts. So you will send in your team and then they will be in there for a certain amount of time before you have to actually start the mission or it will expire. And the longer you give them to infiltrate, the less the enemy presence will be. So it's entirely possible to get a mission that has a deadline of about 7 hours, which is nothing. And you have to choose whether you're going to let the team infiltrate for the very little time they have so that they can lower the enemy spawn as much as possible. And then just, you will basically be sending them to fight an entire army if you let the mission go on. So it actually does a lot better in terms of like the overview strategic stuff, because there will be occasions where you do not want to send a team in, because there is no way in hell you're going to have a successful mission, and you will know that before even sending them. So, I don't know. I thought that was a pretty cool change to the formula, because XCOM before that is basically send a team to every mission, because there will be a good chance of finishing every mission no matter what it is. But in this case, that's just not how it works anymore. So, I thought that was cool. I downloaded a mod for Skyrim. It's basically a complete remake of Resident Evil 1. Yeah.
Wow.
By a remake of Resident Evil 1, I mean literally the entire game.
The mansion's just right there.
Yeah, the mansion's there. It has the Cerberus outside. It has the, all the stupid keys that you need to find and all the stupid locks. There are even doors that are like, hey, the lock's broken, you can't open this. And things like that.
So what's the point of this mod?
It's literally the entire game. It will have all the enemies in the exact same spots. It will have the same progression, so you need to find the shield key and the sword key and the helmet key and etc., so you can get outside, so you can get into the basements, so you can get into the dormitory, so you can get into the laboratory, so you can fight the Tyrant and all that stuff.
I mean, it's really impressive they managed to do that.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you just play the Resident Evil 1 remake?
Because it's novel how they've transposed all of the mechanics of Resident Evil into Skyrim. It's an entirely different game engine with entirely different mechanics, and they've transposed pretty much everything exactly where it would be in the original game.
People just want to make freaking Skyrim every single game, don't they?
Why not?
It works really well. It works really well as a Skyrim quest.
It really does. Like, Skyrim is just encompassing everything with mods. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great. You finish the thing and you find Jill Valentine is locked in the laboratory, and you can let her out and she'll be a companion. There's a thing in the basement that will basically make the mansion a player home, which seemed cool when I installed the mod. But then when I actually did it, I remembered this is a really ugly home filled with spider webs and corpses of zombies and spiders and dogs and werewolves which supplant the hunters. And I'm like, this is actually kind of gross and I don't want to live here. So, yeah. Also, then it broke my game, so that is a bit of a downside. Like, I finished the whole thing, but then when I tried to leave, it just kind of broke. So...
Hey, I'm gonna need a second. My blood sugar is tanking, and I need to go grab some food.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Aside from that, I basically got stuck into a new YouTube channel. Well, not a new YouTube channel, but one that I've recently been watching a lot of videos for, called Skallagrim. I don't know if anyone's heard of him before, but basically he's a weapons expert.
Oh.
So, I'm going to link a video. I doubt people will be able to watch the whole thing now, but... yeah. The first video I watched of his was something for a really strange fighting technique that he basically determines would not work. And he explains in surprising detail and like really well for someone that doesn't know anything about fighting techniques, how and why this wouldn't work.
Oh, I've seen this guy before. I love this guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's like a slightly less frustrated Lindy Beige.
Don't know who that is, but...
look him up. Really good. Really good with medieval weapons, really good with fighting techniques and historical stuff. Maybe give some of his videos on scientific stuff a miss, though. He's one of those examples of people that are really good in their area of expertise.
Yeah. So, if you've not watched that video in particular, It's his most famous video, and it gets quoted in every comment section on every one of his videos. Someone makes a joke about ending them rightly. Basically, that's unscrew the pommel of your sword and throw them at your enemy, and they'll be caught off guard, and then you can stab them.
Well, folks, generally, I consider armed fighting techniques from historical manuals.
Let's mute that, shall we? Or, turn the volume down a little bit so it's not picking up on the microphone.
Yeah. So you unscrew your pommel and you throw it at the enemy.
Yeah, and he demonstrates why that's stupid by actually doing it. So he says, "Okay, I'm gonna get you." Screw.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, so that's a fun channel, and I very much recommend people give him a look. He's done videos on For Honor and the weird debate that sprung up around it of who would win, Vikings, Knights, or Samurai. And the fighting techniques based therein. I'm under the understanding that Matt Pat did a video on it, and he was wrong about everything, and
as usual.
3 different experts from all 3 different areas, someone who knew about knight weapons, someone who knew about Viking or Scandinavian weapons, which is Skallagrim, and someone who knew about samurai weapons. All 3 basically jumped on him to correct him on about just about everything. So
my first instinct when saying who would win between knights, Vikings, and samurai is to say knights. Obviously, they've got an extra 400 years of military tech behind them.
Do they, though? I mean, were the Dark Ages a thing in Japan? I don't actually know.
It's not so much that the Dark Ages were a thing in Japan as it is, as a small, relatively isolated island nation, their hand-to-hand combat stagnated for centuries.
That makes sense.
If you look at... There's some differences, but in terms of warfare, because of their culture and because of the importance that they put on certain things, there's really not a lot of difference in weaponry over the centuries.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at, for example, Great Britain about 600 AD, and then compare it to Great Britain 1100 AD, then you're going to get 2 different groups of people, one of which will wipe the floor with the other and take minimal casualties. As opposed to Japan, you can take twice that time distance, and it's not that uneven of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the only one that's kind of an outlier on this is the samurai, because the samurai never fought knights or Vikings. But knights and Vikings, they totally fought. The Battle of Stamford Bridge, knights won.
Yeah. Basically. So. On the other hand, the samurai also didn't generally fight samurai. The role of a samurai was to be either largely ceremonial as a nobleman, or on the occasions when he did go onto the battlefield, to be mounted cavalry, very efficiently cutting down poorly armed peasants.
Pretty much, yeah, they were the elite troops, if anything. Yeah. Knights likewise were elites, and then you have Vikings, which, realistically, there were probably elite troops for Vikings as well, but they're just kind of all homogenized as just they're all Vikings and they're all kind of shit, which is unfair. That's basically Skallagrim's take on it. Is they did have elite troops as well that weren't just in furs. They did have armor. They did have swords. Stop being idiots, people.
My main thing behind saying that knights would probably win any given 3-way conflict is that it doesn't matter much which era you take samurai from. They're still samurai. They're still using techniques from 1,000 years before the military time frame that the other 2 exist in. If you do knights, you're probably going to be taking them from a specific time frame, which is generally a fair bit more advanced than the one that you generally take Vikings from in terms of stereotypical fighting ability. And I would say more than warrior culture or sheer numbers, how tightly sealed up in that tin can you can get is really what matters more at the end of the day.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know whether Samurai used anything other than katana because I don't know much about like that period.
Okay. Samurai didn't actually use curved swords much. Those were generally for ceremonial purposes, such as executions, or for ritualistic suicide when it was necessary, or as an absolute last resort, as self-defense weapons. Spears were actually much more common for samurai to use because, as I said, mounted cavalry. Spears or the polearm naginatas.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. The katana was actually, like I said, usually a weapon of last resort if you manage to get knocked off the horse and you're in the middle of a group of angry peasants wailing ineffectually at your armor.
In hindsight, hey, remember when I said that the just podcast show is going to be like an hour long? Oops. So we're basically only going to have time
Casey
to...
each took like 30 minutes for ourselves.
Yeah. Not bad.
Hey.
Well, it's been like over 2 weeks. We've had stuff to talk about, so...
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. This is just me saying this. I have no further commentary. I got One Piece Treasure Cruise.
Cool.
Well,
I don't know which one that is. I know it's a...
It's the mobile game.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually really fun and updates regularly with new events in the manga and everything, and I really like it.
And you're addicted to it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Stop with the pointless arguments. We're running over for this section. We need to get to the random A. Casey, is there anything more to discuss?
No, I'm done.
One day we'll do a topic.
One day.
One
Yeah,
day
when
we'll
we
do-
rearrange the show so that we actually have to do the
Yeah.
topic. That's
Consider this-
another benefit of we won't actually run over time for any other sections anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So random A. Deadman Wonderland.
Deadman Wonderland is a show that I actually read the manga to its completion. It's not great.
I did a bit of research. The anime covers up to chapter 21 or something in the manga, and the manga is complete at about 55 chapters.
Yeah, and it releases monthly, so you kind of forget what happened in the last chapter, and then just kind of read it.
Yeah. Okay. Good thing to talk about in Deadman Wonderland. They got the albino girl right. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
plus. She actually has white eyelashes, which is a really nice touch and very, very accurate. Well done. She's a bit too coordinated, but it's fucking... I'm trying to be nice.
She's got more stuff to her character that explains that, really, so it's... You know... There's a lot.
Okay.
Deadman Wonderland is... Guy gets framed for the murder of everyone in his classroom.
Yeah. Okay. So the show opens with basically dude is in class and he's talking to his two friends. One's a girl, one's a dude. Neither of them particularly matter, despite how they make it seem like they matter, which I liked, actually. You kind of get attached to the characters because you expect that you're supposed to get attached to the characters because they're the main characters. They die in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, I like that. Like, it's shorthand for get attached to these characters, so it immediately matters when they immediately die. Fair play.
Yeah, I did like the bait and switch there. I was expecting it to be sort of like Death Note's opening, where the apparition that appears is only visible to the protagonist, or it just flies off without any explanation, and we don't get any explanation as to who he is until the end of the episode.
Yeah, I think it's said like halfway through the manga or something.
It said very early on in this episode, at the very least, that Tokyo was basically destroyed in, I think it was the Red Hole incident.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, and they build a prison over the top of it that's like a theme park, and they're going on a class trip there. Yay! And they should
Red Hole.
Going back there, it's going to be nostalgic and stuff. And then protagonist guy, who's voiced by Greg Ayres, by the way, in the dub. I watched the dub.
I saw the dubbed version on YouTube, and they had upped the pitch like three octaves, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing a high-pitched voice anyway, so that's really bad, actually.
They sound like chipmunks.
So he looks out the window, and he sees a dude.
You made milk come out of my nose.
Weasel, please allow Casey
Chill
to cover
bit.
the random
Chill
A.
Sorry.
So he looks out the window, and he sees kind of a big dude in huge robes, and he's high-spoken, just sort of floating there, and he's like, wait, we're on the 3rd floor or something. And everyone looks outside and sees the dude and freaks out, and then everything explodes.
Yep.
The entire class is dead, except for protagonist. It was 2 weeks ago that I watched it, so I don't remember.
Yeah. Except for protagonist.
And the
protagonist
rope guy who's there.
is then like framed for the entire incident and ends up in super prison.
Yep, he ends up in super prison. Everyone hates him and blames him for the death of everybody. And, he ends up in the super max prison theme park where the inmates are expected to entertain the masses by trying not to die, basically.
Yeah,
but wait, there's more.
He meets a person named Shiro, who is the albino girl, who is very friendly, very friendly,
and for some reason naked aside from her collar.
Well, no, it's an outfit. It's skin tight, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was just a skin tight outfit, to be honest.
Yeah, it's skin tight.
She's not that pale. It was white, by the way. The outfit was white. Yeah, so it's weird. Like, some of the stuff is kind of Japanese, probably. Like the one inmate that asks the prison warden what cup size she is, and she answers like, I guess that's I don't really give a shit kind of message that they're trying to send.
You're probably going to die anyway.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. Also, by the way, they framed him by having footage of, the kid saying all sorts of terrible stuff about what he did and why he did it, and that they're not going to blame him because he's underage and such things, and they're not going to actually convict him.
So some sort of conspiracy going on.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, so he meets the albino girl, and she's friendly, and then other
She's
inmates
like, yeah,
show
we
up.
know each other, right? She's like, we know each other. We met before. And he's like, I don't remember you. What?
Yeah, there's an implication that she kind of looks like the girl that died, because he says her name when he looks at her.
I can tell you, it's not that.
Okay.
There's a lot to her and him, and at the end he awakens to kind of this weird blood power that was kind of similar to the one that the person who killed this entire class used.
Yeah, he basically gets the shit kicked out of him by inmates, and then she saves him, and then a tower collapses or something, and falls on them, and he saves them both with blood powers.
Yeah. And that's the thing with this show is you have blood powers is the thing that, like, later on it's like, yeah, there's other people with blood powers, and you're going to fight them.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of this show, to be perfectly honest.
It's actually pretty okay. The further in you get, because of like it has a pretty, I would say, fleshed out world, and things make more sense, and everything is explained. There's really no like loose ends.
Yeah, I mean, okay
far
is
as I
probably
remember.
is probably the best word I would use to describe it. Is okay. I don't really know what to do with this. I don't particularly want to see more because it's kind of unsightly.
Yeah.
Is probably the best word for it.
Blood powers. It's fun. You have to bleed to use your blood powers.
Yeah. Well,
And there's lots of unique things. It's pretty messed up in a lot of ways with characters. I enjoyed it when it was first coming out. Going back again,
didn't catch that, Zero.
I enjoyed it when it was first coming out, but going back through it, I don't think I'd be able to say the same. Because I was younger when this did come out, so I don't know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Patient?
Well, I don't really have any aside from... It doesn't really give me inclination to continue watching. I don't like the whole conspiracy plot. I mean, the deal breaker for me would be whether or not the story has a happy ending or if it just has a bittersweet or downer ending. I
believe this actually,
Might-
surprisingly, I think this has a pretty happy ending, all things considered.
Well, that being the case, I might be inclined to look into it more if the anime hadn't tapered off, if you will. Just
It gave us a Gynax ending, yeah.
Yeah, well, the manga is finished, so if you ever want to look it up, it's there. Let's get another anime going.
certainly.
Yeah, let's just kind of forget that one happened.
Yeah, I've got the list before me. 27. Everyone but Weasel has their veto ready.
Sorry I've been kind of quiet. I'm having a nosebleed right now.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't let us disturb it.
So 27.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. I need to roll, don't I? Shit.
Yeah, somebody needs to roll. Let's see if I can beat Casey to it. Probably not.
27. Boom.
Yeah, he beat me.
Generate 20.
20.
Mm-hmm.
T.
Yeah.
How many in T?
A lot.
113.
I'll roll. 101.
Okay, I'll let
101.
you know. 101.
And the winner is Tribe Cool Crew.
What?
Tribe Cool Crew. Got it. Okay. Oh, God, it's a kid.
Oh.
Fuck Christ. Alright.
Alright.
The protagonist, Honoru, is a middle school student who loves... sorry, I'm zooming, so I'm messing up. Loves dancing. He can't sit still as he even feels the rhythm of the sound of chalk in class. Oh, God, it's not High School Music, is it? One day after school, Honoru Hiryu meets Kanon, who is practicing dancing at a secret training facility. The two know the joy of dancing together with others for the first time and the happiness of seeing their own dance moves. Japan's first full-fledged dance anime depicting coming of age through meeting friends and dance battles with rivals debuts. It's fucking Step Up.
Step Up as an anime. Thank you very much.
Hmm.
And it's 50 episodes,
Yep.
and it has a 7.05 on my anime list.
Oh.
I'm just checking the runtime so we don't get another Osaka Mama kind of thing going on. No, it's a full 20-minute show, so... Tribe Cool Crew, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless
That
you
title.
or veto it, I'm saving mine for something more like Chubara.
Yep, same.
Tater, if you... wait, what? Patient, if you would veto Chubra, I would love you forever.
I did in the past. That was my
Thank
veto
you.
last year.
I
Thank
was halfway
you.
through reading the synopsis, and as soon as it said adult lacy lingerie, it was like, nope. I think me and Patient were on exactly the same page there, so...
So, you guys are going to be watching Tribe Cool Crew next time, so until the format changes, I'm not going to be using my veto.
Yeah, so I guess Zero just volunteered to be on the anime show.
That title just does not flow.
If we do it like I said, if we record an hour earlier than usual, I can be on the anime show pretty much all the time.
Sweet.
All right.
Let me just think through the pronunciation for what this would be in Japan. Turaibu Kuru Kururu. That's what it is in Japanese. Well, it'd probably Kuru. So it'd be Kuru Kuru.
Do you think that's
Flows right.
supposed to be a pun?
Maybe?
It flows right off the tongue.
Romaji
Kuru
pun?
Kuru.
Okay, well, you
Oh,
can
thanks,
enjoy that. We've been recording for
Yeah,
a while
Kanji
now.
repeats, so it's Kuru Kuru.
Great.
Fucking finally.
Oh,
Spoken.
hey, Spoken decided to come back after leaving for no reason.
Self-spoken.
My internet connection crapped out.
Ah, I see. So your connection came back after leaving for no reason.
Zero, don't be a dick.
So, Spoken, would you like to veto this anime?
What?
The one in the chat that this is the next random A.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's
Well,
Step Up in anime form. Dancing.
Well, I'll give it a look.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's the thing we have to do next week. Okay. Alright, so let's just jump into recommendations because we've got like 20 minutes left on this.
All right. Could I go first?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. My recommendation this week is a One Piece gamer fic. It's called Adventure Game A Second Life by Robo Yeti. It's an interesting take on it. The protagonist seems to be something of a fan of One Piece, but as they set up their life for the game to begin, the memories of their quote-unquote game life, if you will, just the memories of the history that they've chosen for the game, come into their mind and overtake the memories of their former life, so they don't really remember much of the series. That's, in my opinion, the only bad thing that the series has going for it. I sort of like the remembrance of the whole thing being a series. So, basically, the protagonist is one of the... Her legacy is being from Ohara, basically. But she's in a bit of a distant past. She's currently at the time right before Roger's going to be executed. And she's heading towards Logtown to witness it. Further into the series, but that's where we are right now. She's heading towards Logtown to witness it because she feels like it's something that she can do. Her overall goal for the series is to set up a floating brewery, all things considered. She's basically, her ambition, her dream is to form a tavern of her own. It's hard to tell exactly where the series is going to go. I mean, she's met up with young Shanks on the way to Logtown, and before that she got something of a reputation with the Marines and pirates as something of an ally, something like a bounty hunter in searching for resources and recipes for her brewery. And, well, the story's still young, updating somewhat regularly, and like I said, aside from the fact that her memories of her old life seem to be fading, I have absolutely nothing wrong with this story. Best gamer fic I've read so far, and the only good One Piece gamer fic I've seen thus far. So,
You hear that, Casey? Best one.
I'm fine with that. Thank you very much.
I know.
No complaints about that particular appellation. Yeah.
so yeah, that.
Voice kind of cut out that patient, but that's fine. We got the idea.
That's his recommendation for this week.
Okay. Who else has got a recommendation? Do I have a recommendation?
I've got one. One moment, let me get the link up. It is a worm crossover fic in. Wait, hold up. Crap, is the. No, just an error. Never mind. It's a worm crossover fic where it's a worm crossover with Okami. Actually, the PS2 era video game.
I love that game.
Weasel voice control.
Sorry, I love that game.
I think we need to put
In this, Amaterasu becomes Taylor's companion and friend, and kind of, sort of, not quite badgers Taylor into becoming the Miko for a dilapidated shrine in the ABB part of town. And it's actually incredibly trollish and really hilarious, while at the same time being kind of heartwarming.
Okay then.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Okay. Anyone else got any recommendations? I do have one.
Ooh.
I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Problem is I can't remember if I've already recommended it.
Doesn't matter.
Did I ever recommend The Legend of the Wandering Pair from Vault 101?
Don't think so. Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, well, this is a Fallout fanfic. What patient?
I was just agreeing with Casey. I don't remember you recommending that one either.
Okay. Well, this is The Legend of the Wandering Pair from Vault 101 by Nave the DM. It's a kind of AU where when the Lone Wanderer, in this case named Lloyd Freeman, leaves Vault 101, he takes Amante with him.
Well, wow. That's
And
interesting.
you know how some fanfics, one change makes everything better?
This one makes everything worse?
Not this time. This one change makes everything go to complete shit. And it just gets progressively worse as it goes on.
Well, yeah, because Amante is just trash tier waifu.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Nave the DM is a really great guy. I've actually talked to him. He's an awesome guy. But yeah, this fanfic, it's entertaining. It's not actually dark or depressing like you'd expect from a fic where everything goes to shit, but it's actually really good. It keeps a lighthearted tone despite the fact that everything is going much worse than canon.
Amante is still trash tier waifu.
Yeah. You get the feeling that she would, if she came with him, or her, or whatever gender, or whatever the protagonist is, that she would just nag about literally everything.
It's not quite... Amante's actually a pretty good character in this fanfic. She's not really the cause of all the shit festing.
Well, that's a success if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. It's like, character rescue kind of thing going on.
I've never heard the term shit tier waifu before, though.
Well, I said trash tier.
Oh, trash tier, sorry. Sorry.
Anyone else?
It means...
Zero, do you have a recommendation?
No, I've been basically playing Zelda, doing exams, and playing Nier now all week, so... No.
Okay. My recommendation is called Why Are They All Girls? By Arxum.
Well, that's a good question.
So
Arxum asks a good question there.
So this story is it's a Moemon story, so based on Pokemon, but all of the Pokemon are girls and incredibly cute, is the basic conceit of the story. There's
Remember we did the Moimon Nuzlocke?
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was so bad.
Partially because
Love
of the game
it.
mechanics, to be perfectly honest, because it wasn't
Yeah, it
one of
was.
the hack versions. Right, so this story is basically one of RxM's OCs named Chase Lance Roland. He uses him a lot. One of his more defined characters. Basically gets universe jumped into the Moemon universe and is told by Champion Lance that he needs to become the Pokemon champion to be allowed to leave.
Okay. Why Lance?
Chase does not take this suggestion well, and really does not get the culture of the Moemon world, where everything is settled by Moemon
he doesn't
battles.
get.
Literally
He doesn't
everything.
get the. Moemon is kind of the worst possible thing, like from an ethics point of view.
Even beyond that, he posits a scenario where a man could break into a family's house and battle the husband so that he can rape the wife. And
What?
Lance's response to this is, if he wins the battle, then yes, and then it would be up to them to battle to get back at them. Or, for example, I could want to kill you, and we would settle this by Moemon battle, and if I win, I get to kill you. And Lance's response is, yeah,
What?
pretty much.
What?
Welcome to hell.
Yeah. And it goes as far as, Team Rocket show up, and
I've forgotten how to even.
yeah. So
Well,
Team Rocket
you know
show
what?
up.
You better remember.
Team Rocket show up and try and accost Roland for his Magikarp that somehow breathes out of water. That's why they want it, because it can breathe out of water. And they challenged Roland to a Pokemon battle, because that's how it works in that universe. And Roland's response is to shoot Team Rocket's Arbok in the face.
Edgy.
What?
Basically, the world of Moemon is go nuts, do whatever you want.
Is fucked up, but it has a set of rules, and basically RxM has introduced a character that is fucked up and doesn't really care for those rules and thinks they're incredibly stupid, and doesn't want in any way, shape, or form to play by them, but is being forced to. What I just described is basically the first chapter before Lance basically stumps on his throat and says, "You will play by our rules," or...
You know what?
Yeah.
I kind of dropped off RxM's fix before, but I never really got into them because I just had so much going on at the time. I really want to just jump into this one because it sounds like a lot of fun.
It's weird and creepy in unusual ways. But
Well, yeah.
it's called out how creepy and weird it is. Most of the weirdness comes from the setting itself and not from the character that's...
The fact that it calls it out makes me want to read it. Because I'm interested to see how that's handled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I might have played up the scenarios a bit more than actually are
Yeah,
in the story.
but-
I can't remember the exact details, but it was something along those lines.
But the concepts are pretty interesting to work with. And to have... Because if you're going to... Normally, if you would get a Moemon fic, it would just be like harem sex romp or something.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, and the fact that this is okay, this is Moemon and it's garbage and why am I here?
Yep.
Makes me want to read it.
It's fun in stupid ways and kind of hilarious. Because the reason that Magikarp can breathe out of water is Roland's explanation is it is too stupid to realize it's supposed to be breathing.
Okay, might need to check this out, actually. That sounds bizarrely amusing.
It's like a slowpoke is too dumb to feel pain. You know,
Literally, it's so determined to be Roland's Pokemon that it, jumps out of the river so that it can follow him, but then remembers it can't breathe out of water, so it has to run back into the river, and jump back in so it can breathe again. Then it'll jump back out so it can follow roll it again. And it keeps doing that until it just stops needing to breathe for some reason. It's so
Evolution.
stupid, but fantastic.
If Meowth can learn how to talk, a Magikarp can be dumb enough to forget how to breathe.
No, forget it needs to breathe.
Yeah. And there is a scene where the Magikarp tries to battle the Arbok before Roland decides to nip the whole thing in the bud. I don't want to spoil what happens because it's just so great. It's magic. Yeah. So
It's Magikarp.
yeah. Basically,
Okay.
well caught. Yeah, so that's my recommendation for this week. It's Why Are They All Girls? Yeah. Good job, Erickson. I'm so glad you released 2 more chapters for this. I really need to read them. Alright. That's everyone's recommendations, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so what we need to do now, and it's very, very overdue, I apologize, I'm belching for no reason, is I need to sign into Patreon, and I've lost all of my fucking data cache, so I have to re-enter all of the stupid login information.
Why did you clear your data cache?
Because things were broken.
That's a very good explanation.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Some of the Flash applications that I used were broken, so I needed to clear my cache to fix them. Right. So, Patreon donors for February. Now, I'm going to drop this one first because holy shit. Ethan F., thank you so very, very much for your donation of $100. You are a super cool dude. Like,
Yeah, thank you so much.
holy shit. Like, I was going to, like, as soon as this came up, I was like, okay, I really need to remind him that he needs to change his donation back. And then you had changed it back, like, literally the day after the payment had cleared. So then I realized, oh, I don't really need to do that then. Okay. Somehow it's set to $100 again. I don't know how that happened, whether you changed it back again, or whether something's gone wrong with the system. If it has, you might want to fix that.
If it hasn't, and you really like us a lot, thank you.
Yeah, holy shit. But, you know, entirely up to you if you want to change it back. Like, we're not going to fucking complain, I swear to God. Yeah.
Totally not complaining, dude.
Yeah, you're super cool. Thank you so much. I'm glad we did the thing that you wanted us to do in the Dark Souls run, because it's actually really fun, and I'm glad, you know, yay. Other donors so the Crossbrain once again donated $10. Thank you, Crossbrain.
A pleasure as always.
Including like the half of you that are here. Hi, Patient Weasel spoken.
Hey.
Arixum donated $10 again. Thanks, Arixum. You're welcome for the recommendation and such. Bomber BCM donated $1. Thank you, Bomber BCM. Yeah, I made a big deal about Ethan's, but that's like, you know, we appreciate every donation.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter how much it is.
Yeah.
If you want to donate one,
If you
donate whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
If you want to help and just donate, every bit helps.
Yep.
You know?
Tempestropa donated $5. Thank you, Tempestropa. Yay, Tempestropa.
Yay. I still haven't. He's been vanished. He's vanished into the internet for a while. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know.
All those RPs on Tumblr that he's doing.
Hugh
I haven't seen him.
donated $20. Thank you, Hugh Droid. You want to be on the show? Just let us know again.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you comment.
It's been a while.
So
I hope nothing bad happened.
yeah. Whatever. Just want to comment. It's fair enough. But you know,
Yeah.
whenever you want to be on the show, just let us know. We'll. I should really fix that reward tier. Actually, because I don't know like how that would play with the new show format, like with changing everything. I'll think about it, but that's a good reminder.
Well, I guess it would be like you get to choose which show you appear on. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you to all of our donors on Patreon. As usual, regular donation tier is, we do a shout out every month on the first episode of the podcast. That will remain so. It will be on the podcast. So that's still going to be a thing. As I say, we're going to be reworking the reward tiers. The commission thing that we had, only one person has gone for. It was successful. It took a while, but it was successful. But no one really cares about it. So, fair enough. I'll probably just chuck that off. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, I mean, most people aren't here for our writing anyway. Why would you watch YouTube videos for our writing? That makes no sense.
In a funny way, I think people are starting to like our personalities. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, just, people like what they like. I don't judge them for it.
I do.
I saw one guy was really liking our Ruby Reflux.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do a little bit more Ruby content afterward.
He found the show because Slicer complained.
I'm totally judging. I'm not thinking less of them, but I'm totally going to judge if people like me, my personality.
Yeah. So, okay. How did you find the show, Casey?
He found the show from. You remember when there was like Rooster Teeth took down one of the videos because I used a 36-second clip instead of a 29-second clip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. They took the video down because copyright strike. And I said, hey, this is fair use. We're using the clip so that we can comment on the things and stuff. It's a review. It's entirely fair use. And they denied the appeal. So I said this to Slicer to vent and such things, and he put a comment on Bernie's profile to say, hey, we're just little fucking YouTubers. Please don't stomp on our shit, basically.
We're not even monetizing it.
Yeah. And, yeah, the new guy, I forget what his username is. I'd have to look it up. But he found the series through that. So, I don't even know what to make of that, but it's kind of cool. So something good came of that fucking travesty of fair use bullshit, but whatever. Something good came out of it, so I'm happy, and I fixed the video so they would stop being dicks. Rooster Teeth of all companies. Jesus Christ.
I just saw Ethan F's comment on the stream about art roles.
Yeah. Apparently I'm a flaccid penis.
Apparently I'm the scrotum, which holds everything together. Ethan F described the main cast as
could you
as
link
well
this, please?
Male genitalia.
Could you link this, please?
Right then. So I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 148.
I'm going to mute him before he finishes. There we go. Fixed. Oh, Christ. Zero's bad enough. Alright. So, I would like to thank everyone for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 168. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel with comments. Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 168. Bye now. You're on YouTube, by the way, patient.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.